Hey, true believers, it's Englentine here with another top 10 comic books sold to readers. This isn't the comic book sold to shops. This is what people are leaving the shops with. This is what they want. And guess what made it to number one? I'll give you 9 guesses, but you're only going to need 1. Also, we're going to go on over to comixology to see what people are buying digitally. And just for fun, we're going to have a little contest to see if it's Marvel or DC that walks away with more titles in the top 10, and why not? We'll stretch it to top 20 in comixology. These are the comic shops that helped out, so by all means, if you're in their area, stop by. Give them a couple of bucks for a comic book or two. At number 10 is X-Men Gold, number 26. Number 9 brings us Black Panther, number 172. Coming in at number 8, we have the Infinity Countdown, number 2. Marvel continues to run the countdown at number 7, The Avengers, 689. DC Comics finally makes their presence known with Justice League number 43. At number 5, we have Mr. Miracle, number 8. Superman number 45 slides right on into position number 4. Marvel wants to make their name one more time with Amazing Spider-Man 799 at number 3. Batman is the bridesmaid this time around at number 2, Batman number 45. And shock surprise, Action Comics number 1000 comes in first place, number 1. And there you go, kids. That's the top 10. 5 from DC, 5 from Marvel. It looks like a tie. If you go by titles in the top 10, it is. But as we're about to find out as I read off all the messages from the comic book shops, it was nowhere near even. DC kicked ass. Action Comics was the highest, fastest selling book in FFF history. Our midnight release went really well, though it wasn't as well as attended as our others. That said, as of writing this, we have 1 copy left on the shelf out of an initial order of 200. This is 100% How You Do an Anniversary issue. Falling quite a bit behind, but still selling incredibly well, was Batman, which barrels head first into a pretty intriguing pre-wedding story. DC rolling out their new B-cover initiative on this book was interesting. We actually had a handful of people who were confused by the near-virgin concept, but the execution of a small text works beautifully. Amazing Spider-Man is 1 issue away from its big anniversary issue and is selling well, but not Action 1000 or Batman well. Avengers is back in the top 10 at number 8 for its penultimate issue. The Thrawn we were shorted last week sold extremely well this week, which was no big shock. Now, I did a review of Action Comics. I'm going to keep commentary down about Action Comics because otherwise I'm going to bring it up a lot more than the comic shop owners are doing. That being said, they're right. Amazing Spider-Man is going to have their anniversary, so I'm pretty sure Amazing Spider-Man might even be hitting or knocking on Batman's door to take over the number 1 spot at some point. On the indie side of things, Jughead the Hunger and Mighty Morphing Power Rangers were the only non-Big 2 books that sold well enough to make the top 20. Which is exactly kind of a shock. To not see in single image book is really surprising. Also, Jughead and Power Rangers were never overly great sellers, but with Shattered Grid I can understand MMPR. I'm at a loss for the success of The Hunger, though I'm happy to see anything Afterlife with Archie related do well. Oh, once upon a time I would be happy to pick up an Archie, but they gave me a copyright strike for Veronica, and now it's screw Archie. I don't care. Don't care. We'll never review another one of their books. Surprising no one anywhere, Action Comics 1000 far outsold everything, and who knows how many more we would have moved had we not sold out by 5 p.m. on Wednesday. You'd think ordering 6 times your normal quantity of a book at $8 no less would be plenty, but nope. Luckily, we got a reorder in while all the covers were still available. After that, Tom King and Jeff Lemire took up most half of the list. It was a great week all around, and next week looks to be great as well. That's a good feeling. By the time I made it to the shop to pick up a physical copy, it turned out that the Mike Allred covers had sold out. So did any comic cover sell out before you got a chance to buy it? Let me know in the comments below. Action Comics beat everyone by a country mile. Even Batman was put to shame, and Batman is almost invariably number 1 any week it's released. Amazing Spider-Man Goblin Madness continues, and the penultimate chapter of Avengers kept the book alive. I will say that Avengers has had the least incremental decrease of any weekly in our store's history. Wow, just wow. We haven't had a book sell as well as Action Comics 1000 in 5 years. This book just flew out the doors. Overall, it was a great week with the top 10 split equally with DC and Marvel. More weeks like this, and we will be talking about how many customers we are adding and not losing. That's kind of like dismal positivity. It's like, so, hey, I'm alive, but I lost the use of my legs. Or like when you are with a girl and you go, hey, you know what? You don't sweat so much for a fat girl. It sounds happy, but in all honesty, it's not. Do I even need to say that Action Comics 1000 was our bestseller this week? Because it definitely was. In fact, DC titles made up the entirety of our top 3. Mr. Miracle is still pretty much killing it, and it was very solid runner-up. And Batman 45 wasn't too far behind that. Hey, you know what? For as excited as we are about Action Comics 1000, in other news, number 8 of a miniseries is taking the 2 and 3 spots. I mean, seriously, that is pretty cool. And throughout the stores, it's done well enough to land at the number 5 spot in our countdown. Impressive for a number 8 of a miniseries. Action Comics 1000 blew out the doors Wednesday. Thankfully, we were able to reorder more, and we already had ordered more copies due in next week. Had one person so upset that they would have to wait till next week to get a copy, they updated their bad review from a year ago. It was odd. Action Comics meant a lot to people. We had multiple people buying all 10 variants of Action Comics at once. I was impressed that it was $79.99 before tax for one title. Amazing Spider-Man, I was worried that all the stores in the area along with us had finally upped our orders above the demand level. We sold out of Amazing on Thursday. It placed third for us behind Action Comics and Batman, seeing some rays of light in the gloomy comic market. Now I'm going to shed some shadow over the positivity and say, so long as we keep up the anniversaries, the reboots, and the gimmicks, that'll keep the readers in, right? I don't know. But at least Action Comics was it was a very good book as well. It was a mixed bag because all anthologies are, but it was good to great stories. If we counted each cover as a separate title, Action Comics would have taken 7 of our top 10 slots this week. That's how big a seller this book was. Combining them into one listing gave Marvel 2 books in the top 10, Amazing Spider-Man and Daredevil, with DC taking 8 slots. If we extended the count out to the top 20, Marvel took several slots to DC's 13. It is good to hear that Superman 1000 has done that well. Now we're going to also check out the top 20 at comixology in just a second. I'm wondering, now I don't think Action Comics is really the first one to make it to that. I remember there being like a Dell comic book that had numbers like 1000 and so forth. I don't know how. Maybe it was a weekly thing or something. I don't know. I have to look that up to make sure because it just popped into my head while I'm talking about it right here. Anyway, let's get over to comixology, see what's in the top 10, and then see who wins the top 20. Much like the floppies, it really doesn't matter because Action Comics sold so many that DC wins. But we're just going to go title to title rather than numbers of books sold in there. Why? Because it's fun. It's my countdown, and why the hell not? At number 10, starting the countdown off, is Super Sons number 15. Number 9 brings us Avengers 689. At number 8, we have Amazing Spider-Man 799. Lucky number 7 brings us the ever-present Injustice 2, Chapter 54. Justice League 43 breaks the tie. It's DC 3 and Marvel 2 in the top 10 right now. Superman 45 comes in at number 5. Well, I guess it's now 4-2, DC's favor. Mr. Miracle number 8 comes in at number 4, so now it's 5-2, DC's favor. If Critical Role Vox Machina is put out, it's in the top 10. Number 6 at number 3. Just like the floppy copies, Batman comes in at number 2. And continuing that trend, of course, Action Comics 1000 comes in at first place. This book is a juggernaut. DC kicked all sorts of ass. 7 DC, 1 independent comic book, and only 2 Marvel, and that was at the tail end of the top 10. Wow. Alrighty, but I like to play fair. Let's stretch it out to top 20. We've seen this before where DC has a commanding lead and Marvel makes a big comeback. Let's see where it heads. See, what did I tell you? Number 11, Infinity Countdown. Number 2 brings it 7-3, DC's favor. Number 12, X-Men Gold. Number 26, 7-4, DC's favor. Number 13 proves that you cannot stop Nightwing's fine ass. Number 43 brings it 8-4, DC's favor. Image brings in their second book, Lazarus, at number 14. At number 16 is Black Panther 172, bringing the score 8-5, DC's favor. But right at number 16, we have Ms. Marvel number 29. So there you go, 8-6. But let us not forget that it's the back half of a top 20. So at number 17, Star Wars Poe Dameron number 26 brings it 8-7. And the countdown comes to a screeching halt. 9-7, thanks to The Brave and the Bold number 3. And don't forget, there are 2 independent comic books on the board right now. Plus Marvel's 7, that's 9. DC now has 9. So the only thing that can happen is a tie for Marvel if they get both 19 and 20 of the countdown. If DC gets one of those, DC automatically wins. And here you go, kids. Guess what? DC Comics, Green Lanterns number 45 at 19 brings the score 10. Oh, wait, Aquaman. How many times have I been saying people need to buy Aquaman? You know what? I did a review. Now it's in the top 20. What do you think, gang? Yeah, I think I did that. Yeah, I'm going to pat myself on. No way in hell I did it. But you know what? I'm glad that people are buying it enough for it to show up in the top 20. It deserves it. That makes it 11-8 with 2 entries. I just counted 21 books, 11-7 with 2 entries. So there you go. I can't count. I can't do simple math. But DC Comics kicked all sorts of ass in the digital. I'm very happy to see Aquaman in the countdown. It definitely deserves it. It's a great book. Guys, pick that up. I think you will not be disappointed. But that's just my opinion. What is yours? What did you think of the countdown? What are you surprised to find on it? What are you not surprised? I know Action Comics number 1, but I'd like to hear your opinion. You know, what do you think about what the comic shops were saying? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you like this video, you want to see more, click like, click share. Of course, that gets word out about the channel, and that's always a good thing. And don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already done that, and that notification bell. Cool things happen around these parts, especially every Saturday night at 9 p.m. where we do Comic Book Thunderdome, and we put 2 geeks against each other, fighting the fights and arguing the arguments, debating the debates that you might argue, fight, and debate in any comic shop or any comic book forum. It's tons of fun right here, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, every Saturday on I Love Comics. Also, this is the way I make a living, so if you don't mind helping out the channel, go on over to Patreon, drop $1 in the till. The link's in the description below. Just $1 will help us to make videos for you and to help us get better equipment and software to make better videos for you. And like always, we really do want to thank everybody who's already done that. We really appreciate it. It means a lot. And to everyone, all of the true believers out there, I'd like to say thank you very, very much for watching.